My name is Vanessa, and I was 20 years old when my world quietly began to fall apart. Not all at once, but slowly, like cracks spread through glass. My father had left 3 years before. After that, my mother Karen carried a heaviness in her eyes that never quite disappeared. She smiled sometimes, but it never reached her heart. I wanted so badly to see her truly happy again, so when she met John, I felt relief. John was warm and easy to like. He made my mother laugh in a way I had almost forgotten was possible. He came around often, asking about my day, listening when I spoke, remembering the small details. His presence felt like sunlight through an open window. Within 6 months, they were married, and just like that, John became my stepfather. He moved in and helped around the house. He cooked dinner and kept things clean. I told myself I had been given a gift, a family again, whole and safe. But small things began to bother me in ways I could not explain. Sometimes John would look at me for a little too long. He was my mother's husband. I told myself I was imagining things. My mother worked long hours. She left early and came home exhausted, with barely enough energy to eat before falling asleep. John was always home. He made me food when I was hungry, helped me with homework, sat beside me on the couch while we watched television. Then one afternoon, I came home from school with tears in my eyes. I had failed a test and felt like the ground had been pulled from beneath me. John found me. He sat beside me, took my hand in his, and told me I was smart, that I was special, that it would all be okay. We sat like that in silence for a long time. Something shifted in the air between us that day. I felt it, and I knew he felt it too. After that, everything changed. He began sending me messages late at night, after my mother had gone to sleep. He said I was beautiful. He said he understood me in a way no one else could. I read his words over and over. I was young, and I was lonely, and they filled something hollow inside me. We began meeting in secret. John told me my mother would never understand, that what we had was something rare and real. I believed him. I started lying to my mother, telling her I was with friends while I was with him. The guilt was there, always sitting at the edge of my chest, but John had a way of making me forget it. On my 21st birthday, he gave me a necklace. That night, he told me he loved me not as a stepfather, but as a man loves a woman. I did not say no. I should have walked away, told my mother, called for help. But I was 21, and I thought what I was feeling was love. I thought that excused everything. John told me his plan. He wanted to leave my mother and build a new life with me. I cried for many nights over what this would do to her. But John said he could not live without me, and those words were enough to silence everything else. I made my choice. I chose him. My mother never saw it coming. John told her simply that he did not love her anymore. She was devastated. She cried in ways I had never seen before. I stood nearby, carrying the truth inside me like a stone, and said nothing. The divorce was finalized, and when John asked me to marry him, I said yes. My mother found out soon after. She came to my door with tears streaming down her face. She yelled. She told me I had broken her heart. She told me I had stolen her husband, that I was not the daughter she raised. Her words cut through me, but I closed myself off from the pain. I got married 1 month later and told myself everything would be perfect now. It was not perfect. It was not even close. Almost immediately after the wedding, John became a different person. The warmth disappeared. He stopped smiling, stopped being kind. He checked my phone every day, questioned where I went, called me stupid, told me I could not manage anything on my own. The man who had once made me feel special now used words to make me feel small. I had no freedom. I had no peace. I had nothing I thought I was choosing. One night, after a terrible fight, I ran out of the house with nowhere to go. I stood in the cold. thinking of every door that might open for me. And there was only one. I went to my mother's house. I knocked and knocked, crying, saying I was sorry over and over into the dark. After a long silence, the door opened. She looked tired and heartbroken. She did not hug me, but she stepped aside and let me in. I sat at her kitchen table and told her everything. Every lie, every secret, every moment I had chosen him over her. She listened without interrupting, her hands folded in her lap, her eyes wet and steady. When I finished, the room was quiet. Not the easy quiet of before, but the kind that holds grief in it like water in cupped hands. Leaving John was not simple. He fought the divorce, told me I was nothing without him. But something in me had finally woken up. I walked away. Rebuilding things with my mother took years. Some weeks she would talk to me, and some weeks she would not. I went to her house every Sunday without fail. I brought her tea. I sat with her. Slowly, painfully, she began to let me back in. She told me that when John left, she had lost both a husband and a daughter on the same day. I held her hand and cried. I told her I was sorry until the words lost their shape and became something deeper than language. One evening, she put her arms around me. I felt something inside me begin to heal. Not long after, I saw John at a supermarket. He was with a young woman who looked no older than 20. My heart ached for her in a way I could not describe. I wanted to warn her, to grab her hand and tell her what I knew. But I just stood there and watched. He saw me too. For a brief moment our eyes met, and then he looked away quickly, like someone who had been caught. I did not cry. I turned and walked away, and I felt, for the first time in a very long time, like myself. I made terrible mistakes. I caused real pain to someone who loved me. But I also survived, rebuilt, and found my way back to the one person who opened her door. If you have made mistakes that haunt you, do not let them become your whole story. Forgive yourself, say sorry to those you have hurt, and keep walking forward. That is all any of us can do.